Hey, what's up, Dean? Saber Performance, back at the shop. I did forget yesterday uh, that I got the clutch line, the bleed line in. So I got that hooked up down there. I got it looped through the first P clamp. The second P clamp's pretty tight with the other braided line he added, but it comes up and it's got the bleeder on it. So I put that in the reservoir, filled it, and I pumped it for a while, but it's not, it pumps up, but I think we're gonna have the same issue with this clutch master that I had with the Ranger, where the bore size is too small, which prohibits it from pushing the bearing far enough. But I'm not 100% sure, because this was a little bit hard to bleed, being that this is like a slave, like a brake master bleeder, and you can see it's leaking. So that kind of sucks, but we'll work on that. We will work on that. I did get the pump in. I also went by, and instead of ordering, like, I got the longer bolts, but these are too long, and these are M12 1.25, so it's like a really fine thread with the like locking flange nuts. So I had to go by the hardware store because those are just a little too long, and I got these pieces here. These are 10.9, so it's like I think they're a little bit stronger than grade 8. I can't remember. I looked it up a long time ago, but that little bit right there, $30, which to me is absolutely crazy, but is what it is. Need them. I don't know which one we're gonna end up putting in it. Maybe the shorter one would be better. Yeah. So put the shorter ones in. Yep. I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes. It's about the same with the flange nut and the flange bolt. So I'll get those in. The straps should be here sometime this week, hopefully. And then I'm gonna put an exhaust fan in the back because it's just too hot. I got that. I also, if anybody watches Cameron Johnson, he's building another S10, and he got a Tin Soldiers 88. And he was kind of waiting on a bunch of parts, a spool and some gears and some other stuff. I actually called him, and I have a spool. I have 2 different sets of gears. Those are Richmond gears. These are Motive. I have a diff cover that's super awesome, Hulk green. Spherical bearings. This is the pump. I have a bunch of flanges. This is like the pinion flange. This is a drive shaft flange. They don't match. And then I also have a standard, like a 1350. I think it's 1350 or 1330. I can't remember. It's been a long time. Style yoke. But I didn't hear back from them, but I threw it all in here just in case. But I gotta get everything out of the car. There's the fan. So I'm gonna get all this crap out, get working on cutting a hole and all that good stuff, and we'll come back. All right, got all 3 bolts in. I actually had the neighbor ran to the hardware store, so I had him grab another bolt and a nut. I only grabbed 2 for some reason. So drive shaft's done. The U-joint clips actually just got delivered today, so that's awesome. I'll get that done. Then David's truck, the clutch is doing the same as the Ranger did. Push it in, it tries to drive. But I got the pump all done, wired up. I put his other hose on for the vent for now. It has a rollover ball in it. I got a cap on the second feed, so there's very little fuel in it right now, which is, you know, that's fine for now. But turn the key, pump's a little bit quieter, doesn't start. She a bad girl. She a bad girl. So he's on his way up. He's gonna pick it up, tidy up some stuff. I don't remember what. He's gonna tidy up a couple of things. We just talked about it, but you know how it is. He'll definitely get a filter on it. But yeah, I mean, we'll try and bleed the clutch. Maybe it'll work if he's pumping and I bleed it. So, because that's my thought, is maybe it's sucking a little air through the top of the fitting right there. Oh, I got to tighten these up. Almost forgot. So I'll tighten those up before he gets here. And then temporarily this one's out the door. And then once he gets the few last things finalized, we'll either head down to him or he can head up here. We'll get it tuned, get it on the road for him, and be done. The Nova, I got the shifter, the Quick Performance Posi rear end, the BMR sway bar. I ended up dividing out the kit. I had originally ordered a Jegs kit for the front end, and it was back order for like a week or week and a half or something. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever. It ends up that they are severely back ordered. So I ditched that idea and went a different route. So the Quick Performance, there's probably not a part number on here. No, there's no part number. I haven't even opened the box. None of them, actually. But it's, I got to remember. Hold on, I'll open the box. So for the B&M, we went with the same shifter as the green truck, the 80902, the ProGate shifter, 4-speed, rear exit cable. I like this shifter. It's actually a pretty neat shifter in that, like, the way it locks out every gear. I like that. I think it's a pretty good idea. I also got it down in there is the neutral safety and reverse switch. It's all built into one, and it goes inside the case. Part number 80850. So it's a micro switch. It's a pretty big one, but it has the 2 micro switches built into it. So it kind of sits in there somehow. I don't remember how I looked. There's the instructions, but it sits inside. That gives you neutral and reverse. So we can make everything park neutral safety, whatever. And then can make all that stuff work like it's supposed to. I think cars are dumb if they don't have a neutral safety. I think it's kind of a mishap. Like the black truck, David's truck, doesn't have a neutral safety. Probably should do one, but he wasn't worried about it. Nope. So let's see. Nope. Man, they seal this thing up good. Oh, it's glued. Hold on. Okay, so it's a Yukon Gear Posi unit. I don't see the part number, but this is a kit that Quick Performance sells. and it has everything, basically everything. There's a whole bearing and seal kit, and then the gears. I am 99% positive we went with 355 gear. I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, so aside from that, the kit, the actual front end suspension kit, was tubular upper and lower control arms from Jegs and coilovers. So I ended up, being that, and sway bar. It was like a full front end kit other than like your steering components. I ended up, because that was not available at the time, of course, wrong end of the box. This is a BMR. I believe it's their solid. I chose the solid sway bar. It's an 1.25 inch. No, it's a hollow. This is the chromoly one. So this is the hollow one. 1.25 inch sway bar kit with bushings front. 67 to 69 F body. Cool. So it probably won't fit. Who knows? These are tubular control arms that are basically a copy of whoever's. Not opened them yet, but I've used a bunch of different brands and they almost all are the same. And then I used, I think it was Switch Performance or something like that. I'd have to look again, but I don't remember who. Can't remember who it was. The company that I ordered their Viking coilovers with a 350-pound spring for the front. So it's a coilover conversion, a lot like it's got on here with the upper and lower control arms, and then a coilover, which his coilover does not quite sit how this Nova one. The Nova one, the coilover spreads. So it sits down here and then it spreads so it gets into the factory bucket. It looks like they beat the retainers up, which is not the right way to do it, but this is what it is. Actually, David has them, right? Oh God, getting old. No, he doesn't. He's got factory springs and shocks. But anyways, so yeah, I gotta email them, find out when they'll be here. Everything else is here for the Nova, so we'll bring the Nova back soon. Full front suspension upgrade on that, which will get the car much lower in the front. I'll look at the rear. Might just be like a lowering block, a 2-inch lowering block or something like that. But we'll get the car to sit a little bit nicer for him. I just got to look at the wheels and make sure we don't go too low that everything hits. But for this one, that's about it. He's on his way up to get it, his truck. Fans up there and running. Kind of feels like it's working. Feels like it pulled a lot of the heat out of the top of the unit. So cool. Get a few things done today, but that's kind of about all I could do. Again, I may end up cleaning up these heads that I got to bring up to the machine shop. I got 2 sets. These are the ones off the 5.3 that went in the Nova. So one is an 823. This is a 799, and this one is an 823 or 862. Sorry. So they ran very different on both sides. One has a much smaller combustion chamber than the other. They're different heads entirely. But the 799 is a very similar head to the 243. I think with the exception that this came off an LS2, so it had a better spring, I believe is what yeah, see, those are the blue and those are the yellow, is from what I understand. I could be wrong, probably am. But I'm gonna get all of them cleaned up, and I gotta bring them up, have them decked, have a valve job done, because you could clearly see there's bent valves. There's one right here One right there, that last one, and one right here. If you look at the other side, open, open, way open. And then this head also has open and open down there. So this one has 2, the other one has 3. This is off this motor, which you can see definitely hit this one, but it hit that piston, hit that piston, hit that piston. So I'm almost curious if the crank is any good and if all them other rods and pistons are any good. Almost curious. The block is, definitely repairable. Nope. But I would highly doubt it. I think that whole thing is just a pile of scrap sitting in my shop. Then these heads are going to cost me $400 or $500 to get them redone, something like that. But I'm hoping that these are the same intake valves as those. I know those are, but there's only 4, so I'm hoping. I could already tell these are not. These are smaller valves. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. I got to do something for that motor over there to go in the Magnum, because I sold the harness to a kid with a pickup that bought the same, and his truck would not start. He was having a bunch of issues with it. Now I don't know. I went over there and tried to figure it out. I don't know what the issue was. Whether it be like a couple of grounds came disconnected in the harness or something, but he had done a bunch of add-in to get the factory stuff to work. So I brought him my harness. He just literally plugged it in, hooked it to battery, truck fired right off. So he ended up buying the harness for me, and now I'm left with a dilemma. Do I get another harness, potentially have issues with it, or do I get a Terminator X Max and run the transmission and do boost? So I don't know yet. We'll see. But for this one, that's it. Went on too long. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. As always, have a good day.